This bow is the most underrated bow in Hypixel Skyblock. This bow is the Spirit Bow. Now, before you pause this video and start writing an angry hate comment that probably goes like, "Oh my god, Cookie, the Spirit Bow is so bad. It can't even damage Endermen. It completely sucks." Well, man, the Spirit Bow is still good for so many other things in the game besides damaging Endermen. You just have to watch the video to find out. Another thing I just wanted to say in today's video is that I'm going to be ranking the Spirit Bow with the Juju short bow. So if you guys were wondering which bow I'm going to rank it with, it's going to be the Juju short bow with the Spirit Bow. And without that, let's actually get into today's video. Okay, so let's look at the first thing, the price. Let's look at the price of the Juju short bow and the price of the Spirit Bow and see which one is cheaper. That'll help us determine which one is cheaper for our first step. Okay guys, so a pretty good Juju bow right now is going for 57 million coins, which is actually a pretty cheap price for a good Juju short bow. And now let's look at the Spirit Bow price. Okay guys, a pretty good Spirit Bow is actually going to be going for 40 million coins, which is actually 17 million coins cheaper than the Juju bow. Okay, so we looked at the price of the Spirit Bow and the price of the Juju bow and saw that the Spirit Bow was 17 million coins more cheaper than the Juju short bow. And now since we have the price figured out, let's move on to the stats of each weapon. Okay guys, I'm going to be listing the stats on screen right now. So basically, the stats for the Spirit Bow compared with the Juju bow is that the Juju bow short bow's damage, strength, crit chance, and crit damage is actually a little bit better than the Spirit Bows. So basically, with the Juju bow perks, we can see it has 310 base damage, 40 strength, 10 crit chance, and 110 crit damage. And with the Spirit Bow, we can see it has 210 I think it has 210 damage, it has 100 strength, and it doesn't have any crit chance or crit damage, which is a pretty bad thing. But as you guys can see, it has almost 60 more strength than the Juju short bow, which is actually pretty good. Also guys, if we keep going further down, we can see that the Juju bow has a shot cooldown of 0.5, the Spirit Bow has a shot cooldown of 0.8, so we can see a 0.3 difference. Not that big of a difference. It still makes a little bit of a difference, but it's really not that big of a deal. And if we go down even more, we can see that they are both short bows. Obviously, they are both short bows, and if we go down even more after that, we can see that the Juju bow requires Enderman Slayer 5, and the Spirit Bow requires Catacombs Floor 4 completion, which in my opinion, Catacombs Floor 4 completion is much more easier than unlocking Enderman Slayer 5, but obviously you could buy tier 4, tier 3 carries and just get Enderman Slayer 5 done with. But in my opinion, Catacombs Floor 4 is so much more easier than unlocking Enderman Slayer 5. Sorry, I blinked out there for a bit. But then, on top of that, we can see that the Spirit Bow has a perk, deal 2% damage to undead mobs for each 1% of your missing health. And if you had 10% missing health, you would be dealing 20% more damage to undead mobs, which is actually sort of cracked. And yes, the Juju bow can damage Endermen, obviously. And now since we've seen the stats and requirements of each weapon, let's talk about the uses of each weapon. The main use of the Spirit Bow is actually being able to do dungeons. And this is because of the 2% more damage to undead mobs with 1% missing health ability. So it is super good for doing dungeons. And also guys, if you actually lose a lot of health, the Spirit Bow would be really good for you because you would do more damage to undead mobs in a dungeon run. And obviously the Spirit Bow is just really cheaper, and it's basically like a mini Juju short bow. Juju short bow is obviously better, but for the price, I would just say Spirit Bow is also a pretty good choice. But now, let's move on to the Juju short bow. One of the main reasons of the Juju short bow is being able to damage Endermen. That's really the main reason why people actually use the Juju short bow. And now, obviously guys, the Juju short bow is basically like a mini Terminator. You can use this for zealot grinding, Enderman Slayer, and so much more stuff. Now, obviously, the Juju short bow is really expensive, and that's why the Spirit Bow is also pretty good of a weapon choice. To be honest, the Spirit Bow is also a pretty good weapon choice, but Juju bow is in general better, but the Spirit Bow, guys, is actually really underrated, and you should probably get it if you want to save some money. Overall, as you guys saw me talking, the Spirit Bow is a super duper underestimated and underrated weapon. The Juju bow is good, but meh everyone knows about the Juju bow. If you want to be that person who has like the spirit bow, and some people don't know what a spirit bow is, then it would probably be pretty cool for you to have a spirit bow. On top of that, you would be saving 17 million coins. And what's the big difference? You can't damage Endermen? Well, that's not that big of a deal, since you can probably do so much more other things. There's practically hundreds of more mobs in Hypixel Skyblock that you can use to damage without hitting or slaying Endermen. And now, without that, I just wanted to say, if you guys have made it this far into the video, you probably liked it, because, well, you made it this far. And while you're still here, if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button, like button, and the bell, it would really, really mean so much to me, and it would really make my day. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys next video. Bye, guys!